I would like to call to order the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting for the City of Monona on Monday, October 3rd, 2016. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
Alder Bussey is excused.
I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the September 19th meeting. I will second that. Any corrections?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There are no appearances this evening. There is no unfinished business. Under new business is consideration of Resolution 16-10-2120, approving an agreement between the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the City of Monona for the University program. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
I will second that. City Administrator Little.
This agreement with UW-Madison is a formalization of the projects that are already underway and were budgeted for the 2016 budget. It basically formalizes the project period, which is through now, actually backwards to September 1st through August of next year. And it also lays out the responsibilities for each party. So, for example, we provide them information and data in support of the projects, host field trips for students, so on and so forth. And then there are the usual clauses like termination. It explains the deliverables, which are final reports for each project. And at the end of the agreement is the last version that we had for the draft schedule of courses. I believe there's some that may have even been added to this. And then also a project budget at the very end of the document that explains how the budgeted money would be spent.
Any questions?
No.
I see none. And again, Reinvention Consultants have offered on a gratis basis to help monitor and provide metrics along the way. And those meetings have already started with Wally Jankowski just to have a checkup to make sure we're getting a good return. So, no further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, let's do the roll on this one, please.
Okay. Alder Wood.
Aye.
Mayor Miller.
Aye. Motion passes.
Just one really quick thing.
Yep.
I wanted to start in the agenda, but I couldn't figure out how to start without shifting all the spacing. So if there was no objections and you wanted to take it out of order tonight, that would be, just to get it going.
Okay.
She did start it.
Did she start it? I was going to ask her to do that.
Item CB
Oh, she did
is...
great.
Oh, no, that's the wrong agenda. Item 6B, consideration of Resolution 16-10-2021, approving a proposal from First Student for City Transit Services. Is there a motion for approval?
For discussion purposes, I guess.
Okay, I will second that. Mark?
I guess the numbering's wrong on the resolution. Should be 21.
It's wrong on the agenda.
On the agenda.
Should be 2121?
Yes.
All right. I would move to change the resolution number to 2121.
Okay, I'll second that.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mark?
This is a 5-year contract with First Students recommending. Basically, we just had a 5-year contract with First Students. That contract was up. We went out for bids. We had 3 providers that bid on it: Badger Boss, Culberson, and First Student. We reviewed. There's an attached bid sheet over the 5 years. So over 5 years, we wouldn't go with the First Student using their used bus because they did not provide a bid with a new bus. Would be $1.2 million. I'm just going to round there. And then the next closest one was Badger used buses at $1.37 million. So the
Can I just interrupt, excuse me, Mark, but don't we have 2 buses?
yes, 3
So-
buses total.
3, so how does, I couldn't figure how to make sense of this in terms of what does a new bus mean versus a used bus?
So basically, all that means is the new buses, they would have to go out and buy a brand new bus for 5 years. A used bus is a used, basically it's, they would buy a used bus, or they, for the first student, they'd keep the buses they had and not buy a new bus. So that's,
Okay. So first student then with this, the buses we have, they would continue to use for
Yeah.
5 more years.
and they just basically bought a new bus too, just within the last 6 months. So one of the buses is fairly new.
Okay. And the others, when it says new bus, that was for 3 new buses?
Yes,
They would have each bought new buses, other than Badger was willing to provide 3 used buses?
correct.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So they looked, the commission looked at this. They decided, there's been some issues with the first student, more with customer service issues. A lot of that's been with the changeover in their administration. A lot of it's been worked out and doing a lot better. The commission couldn't justify for the extra 170,000 to make that switch, and so they proposed going with the used buses for first student, including the used bus, and then a bike rack means they would put a bike rack on there, including the bike rack and a smartphone and website. So that's what they're recommending for approval.
Anything, okay. Alderwood?
I mean, I really want to hear what Alder O'Connor has to say about this, because I know she's really dug into it. But I mean, the only comments you ever hear about service are negative. So,
Well,
I mean, maybe you guys
Yeah.
don't, but
Yeah, I mean, there has been, one of the biggest issues was the backup bus. The backup bus was a very old bus, and had a lot of problems. We basically told them, to get a new bus there, because it basically had some exhaust problems, some other problems. And so you have to service so 2 buses run, and then they have a backup bus. So one of the buses, one of the 2 main buses either in for service or for routine maintenance, or if it has a major breakdown.
Right.
They were using a backup bus, and the backup bus was really the cause of a lot of the customer service issues that we were dealing with, because it was a problem bus. It had some issues with exhaust issues and some other issues, and so they replaced that bus, bought a brand new bus, and they moved one of the newer buses, I believe it was like 4.5 years old. They moved that to a backup bus, so the new bus is in existence. It's working now.
okay. Go on.
Oh, sorry. We also just got, in fact, today, the first batch of rider surveys, and I've been looking through them, and we have a lot of questions in there, such as, is the bus clean? Can you find a seat? Is the driver courteous? And things like that. And most people are putting it down, agree, and strongly agree.
Uh-huh.
It seems like maybe a few of the problems, I don't know, we may have worked them out, I think related to the buses getting there too early, and that has
Yeah.
affected reliability, and I know that you guys have talked to them
Yeah.
about that issue. But that was really the only thing that I saw popping up so far. So,
Yeah.
and then there was some general survey data in here.
You said there was a change in management?
Yes, so we had a change in method. One I was kind of dealing with before so first student had a contract with Verona Bus, with the Verona School District, and they lost that contract. And so their main focus at the time was more the Verona bus service, and then we were kind of the secondary. They lost that. The main person that oversaw our part of the business retired, and they brought in 2 people since that. One left for a higher position in the company, and the other one is now. They're both kind of gung ho, and they're both a little bit more refreshed and want to see the business do well, so they put a lot more effort into it and a lot more communication back and forth between
Okay.
us and them.
I know that there was also, I don't know if it was just one driver in particular who, didn't really follow the schedule too closely.
Yes, and he actually he's retired now,
Okay.
so they replaced him. He was one of the issues that we had. He was another
Right.
issue was, so he's retired. Replaced him with another bus driver that's been a lot more reliable with that service.
Okay. Thanks.
So do you want to proceed?
Yeah, fine, let's go ahead and
Fine.
send
Okay.
it to council.
And I got
Any
some more
further
information.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I got more information too. We kind of talked about the strategic plan tonight. 'Cause I kind of oversee that and kind of go over this. I kind of show. I know there was a lot of questions about ridership and the cost. Is we getting the money for it? I know it was an issue. Do we keep the service? So I have some numbers, some basic numbers we can, if you want to look at, we kind of go over tonight that maybe help with the discussion.
I was surprised from the study. We weren't as awful as I thought we would be against other transit systems, other than we're low rate of return. And
Right.
It just seems like we're certainly not, well, it's relative. I guess you pay for what you get.
Right.
You know, we don't spend a ton on it, but our percentage return for
Right.
fares is low, so if we could just get a few more riders.
Yeah.
Right.
And the biggest thing, this came up and there was a rumor going along that one of the other companies got the contract. I probably got more calls in that little time period than I have.
Positive?
Positive.
Negative, or?
They wanted the current system. They were
Oh.
really happy with the drivers now. And
Okay.
so it's one of those things, you hear stuff, but then the
Right.
people, I hear the opposite
So I
side.
see signs we're doing free rides,
Yes, and that's another thing. We're doing free ride week for one part of our advertising.
and I like the suggestions, and I know we'll talk about it in the council meeting, but at least you're trying, so I tip my hat to you. Further discussion, hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Miller,
Here, I mean, aye.
Alder Wood,
Aye.
So you guys do listen. Item 6C is consideration of resolution 16-10-2022, approving the 2017-2021 capital improvements program and 2017 capital borrow. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
I will second that. Mark?
It usually comes here, we just kind of usually just pass it on.
Right.
I don't know. I can go over it with you now. We got the whole coming up.
Well,
No,
unless
yeah.
there's something specific.
I guess I did have one question. I'll just go ahead and ask for you now. But in looking, at the changes you made to I guess that was the committee
Committee or staff budgets?
Yeah.
Yep.
that reduced the spending in 17, probably about 2.4 million almost, I think. But then if you look at next year, it's like
Because
almost 19 million.
the buildings went back in.
Yeah.
The riverfront.
No, the police, the public safety building.
So you're talking about 18, what the number increases for spending wise?
Right, and I guess
Yeah,
not
18, the
only,
reason why 18's up so high is because we don't have a project yet for Riverfront, so we're just kind of projecting to put everything out there, what we're having. So that if you look at the TIF costs on that front page, you'll see that the TIF cost is roughly about 12,000 over 18 and 19. So that's the main difference, that's the main reason. So TIF cost is $10 million, $770,000 in 2018, which is Riverfront. And 19 is the last phase of it, which is $2,191,000 in 2019. So we're basically trying to free up cost. Just so you can kind of look at that front page.
Right.
And I'll kind of show, if you go down to the very bottom,
yeah,
it says debt capacity of
Right.
12 million. So that's what we have in capacity. I rounded though. So what we're trying to do is make sure we have enough money available once we have the Riverfront project signed and ready to go. So that was our main goal, is to make sure we had that capacity. So the debt capacity is 12,800,000. So what we were projecting to borrow that's just affects the levy only is 2,634,613, and that's your general borrowing and your stormwater borrowing, kind of the sums of those couple A's. So that leaves us, after this year, we'll have $10 million, $165,000, $387,000 for capacity. And then you add in what we're principal paying off and a little bit of inflation. So if you go through that 12,000,008 to the next number, which is 15 million. So that would be available in 2018. And so in 18, we have that large TIF project of $10 million, 870, general borrowing of almost $5 million, and sewer or storm of $1,064,000 for a total that would affect the levy is $16,913,000. So we would have to make some cuts in 2018 if everything goes according to schedule. But this is kind of the worst case scenario for the TIFs. So we kind of left it at that, depending on what the TIF project's going to be, and kind of adjust from there from 18 and 19 out.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, what you were trying to get at, or.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant in terms of what the big ones are, the public safety building on the capital side.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the tip for Riverfront?
Yeah. Yeah. My question was more, looking at the bottom line, and then you were proposing to push more debt from 17 to 18, so, but I might ask you again.
Okay, no
Council.
problem.
So is the will, I guess, is just to defer this to full council?
Yeah. Did we already have a motion?
You
Yes.
have a motion
But it was to approve it,
to
so
approve it.
can we just withdraw that and then do it just to
Right.
pass
I'd
it
be
on?
willing to, or who made the motion?
Underwood.
Okay.
Right, I'll withdraw that motion,
I will second that.
and then I'll just move to pass this on to the council without recommendation.
I will second that. Further discussion, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Checks, acceptance of the general fund accounts payable checks dated September 16th through the 29th of 2016. Mike?
Yeah. Not a lot, but just a couple things to hit on since we have a little bit of time here. The first page, just in general, Lamar bus line. This was a senior quilt bus trip. Basically, this is in and out. This is the expense we paid for Lamar, but we received the same amount of money, so there's a zero effect on that trip. It's just part of the senior center. Page 2, the contract you guys approved tonight. Well, we've approved tonight is the Board of Regents, kind of the half down payment for the classes. Page 3, getting ready for Compass Mineral America, getting ready for the winter already. So we buy large bulks when the price is cheap. So Dan's getting ready for the winter time.
And this is kept where? At the county?
County buildings.
This is just a slice of their pile.
Yeah,
Okay.
part of that salt shed. Page 4, Forward Electric. I don't know if you if you remember the issues we had at Oneida Park with the LED lights. We replaced them, and now we had the same issue at the Fireman's Park. So we're replacing those lights.
Is that task completed?
I assume that.
No, I haven't heard an update on that.
If you could, I'd
We
like to
can
know
do
if
that,
that's
yeah.
been
Yeah.
done since we paid for it.
Jake's here. We'll
Yep.
bring that up tonight. Page 5, Johnson Tree Shrubs. He is our city forestry, so that's what he gets paid per year. Page 6, MG&E. Just kind of hit on that. Brad will be here next meeting. I'm just going to talk about the solar and the MG&E, or the solar, how that all relates. So just kind of hitting on that. Page 8. Just bill, I can hand this all the time, just Bill Cole's time spent for the month of August. Page 13. This is your landmark services. Just kind of done this because this will be bringing this up during the budget time. Gas is not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than what we budgeted for, so that will be an issue we'll be talking about when it comes around. 14,
I'm
if
sure they've padded the budget as well as they
No.
had $1.48.
Page 14, in case you're wondering what this Monona Metals is, it's a pilot payment. Payment in lieu of taxes is what it stands for. They paid it twice, so it's a refund. So that's their.
Maybe we can ask Jake, but I've noticed in here a few reservation cancellations and return of money. I'm just interested what our park shelter reservation policy is, that you can get your money back. I mean, because I know that typically they're high demand.
I know there's the refundable deposits. I don't know if there
It is
was
during a certain time.
security deposits. So I'd see what the difference. Do you remember what page you're talking about? Just so I can.
Early on, there were a couple,
That's no problem. I'll look it up and talk to Jake about it.
Okay.
I'll get back to
page 5, there was one.
you. Okay. Page 16, the last one, the visual Visu sewer. This is part of our lining program for the sewer. A lot cheaper than replacing them, and it actually has in a lot of life. So that's a program we.
A lot cheaper than our last company, right?
Yeah. Well, this is lining it, so it's not the
No, but
televising.
that company that used to line,
Yeah.
this is a lot.
A lot cheaper. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Nope. I would entertain a motion for approval.
I will so move.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Checks have been approved. Entertain a motion for
Move.
adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.